Today was another traumatic day in the stock market as we are seeing more indication, more indicators going off telling you and I that there is big trouble ahead. Dow Jones was down as far as 425 points this morning. It closed down negative 285 points. Gold and silver, if you want to talk about an indicator, gold and silver went absolutely bananas today. Gold is sitting right at about $1,550. Silver was up nearly 6% today, 5.97% for the day. We continue to see the inverted yield curve in the bond market. The 3-month now is inverted across the board. It is inverted with the 2-year, the 5-year, the 10-year, and the 30-year. That being said, think about that. The 3-month now is yielding more than the 30-year. Now, people are continuing to tell you that things are okay in this economy and in this market. I'm here to tell you that they are lying to you. It's Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019. You know, I was thinking earlier today, I try to read as many comments as I possibly can. And I was thinking there were people in the past, not that long ago, who were telling people down in the comments to not buy gold, not buy silver. Gold's going to 800, silver's going to $8. Then, of course, you have the douchebags out there that, you know, say I own a mining company or I work for a metals company, which I do not. I do not work for anybody but myself. I'm an independent contractor, work solely for myself, and I do not sell gold or silver, but I do buy gold and silver. But I was thinking, you know, even if I did sell gold and silver, I would be selling something that I truly believe in. I would be selling something that I buy. And I was looking at the numbers today. If you bought gold last year, a year ago to this day, you're up 27.37%. If you bought silver, you're up a little bit over 29%. So if I did own a mining company, if I did own a silver or gold mine, if I did work for a precious metals company, which for the 1,000th time I do not, you would be doing very, very well if you took my advice last year. And I don't give financial or economic advice, but what I do is share with you how I'm preparing for this financial collapse that is now knocking at the door of America. So to the trolls and the douchebags out there who were so opposed to precious metals, the two most undervalued assets in the entire world, if you got into this market a year ago or 6 months ago or even a few weeks ago, you're doing very well. And I want everybody to know this. Nothing bad has even happened yet. This is absolutely nothing. We have not even seen the metals run yet. We've seen some nice increases, but we have not seen anything yet. And I'm not saying that we're not going to see a pullback here and there. There is serious manipulation in the metals market. They do not want to see gold and silver go up. Their sole premise is to keep that dollar strong and to keep these markets propped up. But they're losing that battle because people now, especially the real savvy, sophisticated people, they're running into gold and silver. And we're seeing that because we're seeing prices surge. But mark my words today, you have not seen anything yet. You won't see anything until we start seeing some real radical problems in this economy. When we start hitting major speed bumps, when some of these bubbles start bursting, you are going to see, in my humble opinion, my true humble opinion, we are going to see runs in the silver and gold market that I think is going to shock every one of us. And I truly believe that gold and silver are the two cheapest undervalued assets in the entire world, on the entire planet. So that being said, before we get into this video, people continue to hit me up in the comments on recommendations where to buy gold or silver or both. I've been purchasing from SD Bullion. I just got this today. I bought this today with my hard-earned money, okay? I took some fiat paper currency and I bought more precious metals today. I will do an unboxing a little bit later in this video, so stay tuned. I want to talk about something a little bit off topic right now, and it's this news that we got today that Walmart is going to be discontinuing sales of certain ammunition, short barrel rifle ammunition to be specific. I was at a Walmart today trying to buy some, and I couldn't because they required a driver's license, no problem, but they also required a birth certificate. So now when you go to a Walmart to buy ammo, you need a driver's license and a birth certificate in order to purchase. And shortly, in the not too distant future, you are no longer going to be able to buy certain ammunitions at Walmart because they have folded. They're also saying that there will be no open carry in states where it's allowed, so that will be banned now. So Walmart has 100% folded, and I will no longer ever step foot in a Walmart unless it is an emergency. I will opt out and shop anywhere else, even if I have to pay, 50 cents or $1 more to go somewhere else. I will give some other business, okay, my business, some other store, some other market, my business, because Walmart is no longer going to get it. And this is where we really have to think, every one of us, that, whether it's Hollywood or it's, a sporting event, whatever it may be very cautious of who you're giving your money to. And the more I think about it, this China-controlled company, Walmart, I'm going to do everything in my power never to spend another dollar at that store. And they folded. It's completely un-American in my opinion, and every one of you should really think about where your dollars are going. And this is a store now that does not support your freedom or mine, your rights or my rights, and we've got to opt out and now take our money and give our business to another store. Think about that. Really think about doing everything in your power not to shop at Walmart, because they have sold us out and they do not deserve your business or mine. We talked earlier why gold and silver are your go-tos. Also, brass, another incredible asset. I know a lot of people have been commenting lately. Also, gold, silver, and brass, no doubt about it. I tried to get some today. I was turned down. I'm going to have to take my business elsewhere. But why is it so important to be holding these assets right now? The news today, the stock market, the Dow Jones should have been down 900 points today, in my opinion, because all the news was literally bad news. U.S. manufacturing weakest in 10 years as new export orders collapse. This is on Zero Hedge. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. Make sure you don't believe everything you hear out there. Don't believe everything I'm telling you. Make sure you do your own homework and verify these things. This is on Zero Hedge today. PMI lowest since 2009. New export orders plunge at the fastest pace in 10 years. ISM fell to 49.1% in August, lowest reading since January of 2016. And the news just gets worse. Manufacturing production is falling at an annualized rate of 3%. Hiring is stalling. Optimism for the year ahead is the lowest since comparable data was first available in 2012. Yet, your friends, your family members, your financial consultants are telling you everything is okay. You're being paranoid. Everything is going to be fine. Just trust the banks, trust the government, trust the Federal Reserve. Don't worry about a thing. You better be very, very leery of these people, and you better be very, very careful who is handling your money right now. Here's another one in Zero Hedge. Just how long will the markets keep buying it? And what this article is talking about is this president, which I support, but every time he tweets or mentions that these trade negotiations are doing well, these algorithms pick it up, and we gain 300, 400, 500 points in a day. Last week's stock market rally was a result that there was going to be a ceasefire between the U.S. and China, and that did not happen. On Sunday, we raised tariffs. China came back 1 minute later, raised tariffs on us. It's all about optimism that this trade deal is going to come together, and what happens if it does not come together? And so the only thing right now that these markets have is the optimism that this deal, that these negotiations, that we're going to come to some agreement with China. The market responds to the president's tweets like a trained dog. And ask yourself, how much faith do you put in markets that literally just bounce up 300 or 400 points just on a tweet? Okay, that are just being run by these supercomputers and these algorithms. How much faith do you really put in these markets? Ask yourself that. There is optimism that the Fed is going to cut in September. It is 100%. As I said weeks ago, I believe it is going to be 50 basis points, minimum 25, but I truly believe now, as we're starting to see more problems, that we're going to see a half-point cut in September. What happens, ask yourself this, what happens when there is no optimism left? What happens if we do not get a deal with China? What happens when there are no more points to cut and we're at zero? What happens to these markets? I'm going to tell you what happens to these markets. They are going to sell off, and people are not going to be able to get to the exits fast enough. In fact, there will not be enough exits for people to exit. It is going to be ugly, and you and I are going to witness this happen. I'm sure that most of you ask yourself, who would be gambling in these markets right now? Another article on Zero Hedge. Investors are positioning for the worst as the smart money quietly dumps to retail. Institutional investors are moving further away from equities. They're going to safe assets like cash, bonds, gold, silver. The smart and fast money are selling ahead of the coming recession. So who is buying? Okay, this article is really good. It's going to tell you who's buying. Why it's the usual suspects, stock buybacks and the mom and pop investors. You know, your friends, your neighbors, your associates at work, who think they're going to outsmart the supercomputers, who think they're going to outsmart the smart money. They're the ones buying in, saying, oh, today was a dip, let's get in. They got sucked in. These markets are extremely dangerous. I would avoid them at all costs, because these are the people who are going to learn a life lesson. They're going to lose, and I would avoid these markets right now at all cost. Repeat, at all cost. I want to go over a list of indicators, and by doing so, this should reinforce to every one of you why you need to be preparing mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. This is where we are at in America right now. I don't think it could be any more clear of the clear and present danger here in America right now. Let's go over this list. The U.S. and China just slapped painful new tariffs on one another, thus escalating the trade war to an entirely new level. JP Morgan Chase is projecting that the trade war will cost the average U.S. household $1,000. Let's continue. Yield curve inversions have preceded every single U.S. recession since the 1950s. And it's happening so frequently now, and we're inverted right now as I speak to you. We just witnessed the largest decline in U.S. consumer sentiment in 7 years. Mortgage defaults are rising at the fastest pace since we've seen since the last financial crisis. Sales of luxury homes valued at $1.5 million or higher were down 5% during the second quarter of 2019. U.S. manufacturing sector has contracted for the very first time since 2009. The case index has been failing for a number of months. According to CNBC, it fell 5.9% in July, following 5.3% decline in June and a 6% drop in May. Gross private domestic investment in the United States was down 5.5% during the second quarter of 2019. Crude oil processing at U.S. refiners has fallen by the most that we have seen since the last recession. Is this a good time to be jumping into the markets? Do you think it's a good time to be going in and jumping into real estate? Do you think it's a good time to be buying overvalued assets of any sort whatsoever right now? Absolutely not. These are indicators, okay? These are multiple canaries in the coal mine telling you, be very, very cautious. This storm is getting very, very close. Let me go on. The price of copper often gives a clear indication of where the economy is heading. And now it is down 13% over the last 6 months. When it looks like an economic crisis is coming, investors often flock to precious metals. Well, look at gold and silver today. That should tell you all you need to know right there. Women's clothing retailer Forever 21 is reportedly filing for bankruptcy protection. We just learned that Sears and Kmart will close nearly 100 additional stores by the end of this year. Domestic shipments of RVs have fallen an astounding 23% so far this year. The Labor Department has admitted the U.S. economy actually has 501,000 less jobs than previously thought. S&P 500 earnings per share estimates have been steadily falling all year long. Morgan Stanley says the possibility that we will see a global recession is high and rising. Global trade fell 1.4% in June from a year earlier, and that was the biggest drop we have seen since the last recession. The German economy has contracted during the second quarter, and the German central bank is predicting the third quarter will also post a decline. According to CNBC, S&P 500 just sent a screaming sell signal to U.S. investors. Masanari Takada is warning that we could see a Lehman-like plunge in the stock market. I'm going to wrap this up here really quick. Corporate insiders are dumping stocks at a pace we haven't seen in more than a decade. We talked about that earlier. Apple CEO Tim Cook has been dumping millions of dollars worth of Apple stock. What does he know that the average Joe doesn't? Instead of pumping up his company's funds into the stock market, Warren Buffett has decided to hoard $122 billion in cash. What does Warren Buffett know that the masses do not know? I'll tell you what he knows. He knows that a big sale is coming and he is going to buy it up on a blue light special. Investors are selling their shares in emerging market funds at a pace that has never been seen before. The economic policy uncertainty index hit the highest level that we have ever seen in the month of June. Americans are searching Google for the term recession more frequently than we have ever seen since 2009. So, for all those people out there who have friends and family and business associates telling them that everything's going to be okay, I recommend you go to Zero Hedge or a number of other sites online and pull this list up, because these are all facts. These are all indicators that this thing is here right now. It has begun. There is going to be no escaping this collapse in America. And I'm very, very worried that this is going to be much worse than a recession. I know a lot of people have been commenting down below who've been saying the same thing, and I have to agree with you. I believe that we are looking at a potential devastating depression, Great Depression 2.0. This one will be worse than the first one. And so, you know, I make these videos because I love America. I love my fellow Americans. I'm very concerned about people out there because they're so asleep, they're so dumbed down, they're so brainwashed, they're so dependent on the government, they're so dependent on financial institutions, they're dependent on the television and the media to tell them what to do. And I'm really worried about these people because these people are going to be so shell-shocked when this collapse happens. And there's going to be so much uncertainty of what to do and how to survive this. And these are truly going to be the people who are going to be paranoid. They're going to be scared. They're going to be freaked out. They're going to be victims. They're going to be casualties of this. And again, I don't live my life being paranoid or fearful. I'm a very confident person, and I'm expecting this collapse to come. And by expecting something to happen, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not going to be living in uncertainty. I'm going to be very, very prepared for it. In fact, I plan on prospering during it. I plan on making money during it, and you should too. It is not our fault that people wanted to live their lives in a bubble, live their life in a coma. live their life being directed by the media and being influenced by Hollywood. We're living our life with an open mind, with our eyes wide open, walking closer to God. Listen, nobody's perfect, but we all have to do the best we can. We have to walk closer to God. And by doing so, I think he's really waking up people to what is coming and what is happening right now. There are people right now that don't even see this. They don't see a problem, even right now. I mean, the ship is taking on water. We're going down, and people are still dancing to the music. They're oblivious. We're not. We understand that this ship is taking on water right now, and we are getting the life jackets ready. And you better have hard assets. You better have security. Don't do business at Walmart. You better be saying your prayers, and you better be thanking God every day for opportunity. You better thank God every day for the food you eat, for the bed that you sleep in, the roof that you sleep under, the family and friends that you have. You better thank God every day that you have that. We are going to be tested as a country. We will be tested as individuals. Make sure you are preparing. Don't be one of the masses. Don't be one of the sheeple. Don't be one of these people who are led by the media, because these people, they are truly going to be living in fear. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to have the ability to survive because they don't have the assets. They don't have the preps. They didn't make preparations. They weren't walking closer to God. These people are going to be out there on their own. And we're going to witness many financial and economic victims. And we're going to also see many people victimized by crime. Because when this economy collapses, we are going to see massive, brutal crime in America. And I'm going to leave it and close it on this note right here. Make sure your number one asset, of course, staying close and walking close to God, but make sure you have security. You cannot protect your family or any other assets, whether that be food, water, precious metals, anything, unless you have security. There are bad people out there that are going to be in the streets of America looking to take what you worked so hard for. They're going to be looking to take and abuse family members. Okay, you are not going to allow that to happen because you will be prepared. Okay, you have security, you're training, you are prepared to deal with it. So I'm going to leave it there. Have an incredible week. Remember, embrace life. It's a beautiful day outside. Enjoy it. Make sure you have balance in your life. We're not going to go into this being fearful. Okay, we're going to embrace it. And we're going to accept it because this is just part of what America is going to go through. And we know that, okay? America is going to be tested. It is going to be rocked. But we are here for the challenge. We love this country. We love our families. And we're going to do what we have to do mentally, physically, spiritually in order to survive and to make sure that the New World Order and the deep state and the globalists never, ever rule America. So as I said earlier, I will do an unboxing. This is from SD Bullion. I'm going to open this up, see what we got here. Ordered this probably about 10 days ago. It took a little longer because I paid by check, so I get a little bit better rate. But here we are. And let's see, open this up. It's really... Okay. Okay. And so, ordered this about 10 days ago, and it's already increased in value. So, I got a tube here, 20 coins here, and I got 2 extra coins in the bubble wrap here. They're all the same, but I'll let you know. So, 20 here, additional 2 right here. So a total of 22 coins. And what I did was I ordered some more buffaloes. I'm a big fan of these. They're just iconic Americana. And I don't know if you can see them that well. I'm not sure, but I'll do a little close-up for you in a minute. But yeah, 22 of these. I got a good price for them. And, you know, I may be forced to take some more of my hard-earned paper money and keep putting it in hard, tangible assets like this, while it's still very, very affordable. Even though the price is going up, it's still affordable. I believe we will look back one day and really shake our heads at how cheap this stuff was.